We are
married couple, live in Kelowna, British Columbia.
yeah, we've been together for 12 years.
Almost. June 30th, it'll be 12
Okay,
years.
I'm a rounder. Kim and I, we've been able to build a life where we're together all the time. We're in her studio right now. This is where she teaches. My shop is right upstairs. For almost a dozen years, we've been together 24/7. And we've never raised our voices at each other. Disagree all the time. But it is, if your relationship is hard work, chances are you might be swimming upstream, because this has not been. It's, Kim is the spice that makes everything in my life taste good.
And we've endured lots of difficulty.
We've had the best and the worst.
And yeah, a good partnership makes the good things wonderful and the bad things bearable. So yeah, we're very lucky, and we weren't always happy. This is a second marriage, so we're very, very aware and very grateful of where we're at, and that, fate, God, the universe, whatever brought us together and made this happen.
Yeah.
So
and you appreciate when you spend 25 years with somebody where it's difficult, and then you're with somebody who, you're both motivated for both of you to win. It really is, it's the best that life can give you.
We're both musicians from very different quadrants of music.
Kim's more theater-based. I've basically been playing in bars since I was 15.
Yeah, so classic rock.
Classic rock stuff. And, between the two of us, what we create is an interesting amalgam of those things.
We didn't start out writing music. We didn't even really perform together when we first got together. I just thought his world was far too different from anything I knew. I only ever played piano if there was sheet music. So
yeah, Kim was very intimidated by 3-chord songs.
Yeah, and Jim played guitar. Just he could listen to something on the radio once and just play it.
You're able to listen to things now, and your ear has
gotten a lot better. It turns out it's you can learn things later in life.
Old dogs, new tricks.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. So we started writing songs in 2017. It was on a trip to Nova Scotia together, and we actually wrote 2 songs on that trip. And
Nomophobia and Maritimer.
Yeah, and they're both on our album that was released in September of 2022. It's a 10-song album of original material.
And it was funny because when we started writing, it was remarkably easy how the songs came. And it was fun. It was fun to write these songs, and that was the whole reason behind it. It was just an enjoyable thing to do. We didn't have any plans to put together a band. We thought maybe we'd share these songs with friends and family. So we've come a long way since then.
I've been teaching voice since the 1990s, but I've had Kelowna Voice Lab for about 9 years now. Jim built me this studio, which was part of our garage, in 2014 when my son Dylan died unexpectedly and my daughter Eden decided she wanted to move back home for her final year of high school. I spend a lot of time in this room. I teach singing, acting, public speaking. I'm a graduate of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. And I think that theatrical sensibility really adds a different component to the songs that we write. Because for me, it's always very important to know who's singing the song and what is it that they have to say and why is this song even happening. And that theatrical component definitely played a big role in our show.
I grew up in a small town in northern BC, and where I was from, there weren't that many guitar players, never mind people who would actually, try to change necks on guitars. And that's when I started to learn how to do what I do. I ruined some really great guitars in the process of, you do dumb things till you stop doing dumb things. And now, many, many, many years later, I'm a little better at what I do. And I enjoy it, find it's a job that I can work for a while, and if my back acts up, I just take a break. But generally, I get to hang out with other musicians, and we're all kind of bent the same way, so it's a nice group of people to commune with. We really do understand each other. And I get to work on things like this beautiful old bass here, just bringing the frets back from 40 years of being pounded on the road, and they're going to be like brand new when he gets them back.
We're having the time of our lives. I'll be 58 in June. Jim's 57, and
I like a woman with experience.
But we've been empty nesters for probably 5 or 6 years, and we have the time. We have time to do these really fun, creative things.
We don't golf.
No. We have a lot of free time to exercise and to make music together. And we've been gigging together for about 7 years. So this was kind of like the next step. And, we cover like a lot of songs. There are 700 songs on my iPad right now. And but performing our own stuff is by far more interesting to us.
And then, of course, out of the blue, COVID shows up and shuts the world down.
And it felt like, almost overnight, we had an entire season of bookings for our duo and our cover band
They just
evaporate.
Turned into X's on our calendar.
So the first couple of weeks we were depressed, not going to lie. And then we decided we wanted to do something to give back, and we wrote a song.
We wrote Healthcare Heroes.
And put it out on we just made a little video of us performing it in my studio. And then the news picked it up and posted it because I guess people needed a feel-good story.
So then we got a hold of Silk Road in Vernon, and we actually did our first video.
He did it for free. And we should mention that Blaine at One House Studios recorded Healthcare Heroes free of charge for us.
That was very cool of him.
It was very kind of him. So we put a request out for photos of first responders.
And we've got pictures. We got pictures from all over the world, from Germany, from...
All over the world. In one day, we got 45 pictures. So in total, I think I had about 400 pictures that I had to weed through and submit. But then we ended up going to Vernon at 11:30 at night and filming the intro for the video in freezing cold.
It was freezing cold, yes.
In the middle of the night in Vernon, because then it was quiet in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
But it turned out really well. We were really happy with it.
All the healthcare heroes.
The doctors and the nurses.
All the healthcare heroes.
Respiratory and lab techs.
All the healthcare heroes.
The first responders and all the support staff.
All the healthcare heroes.
Everyone who makes our healthcare system run. Thank you so much. Sometimes I'll be doing the dishes and he'll sit in the kitchen and he'll have his guitar and he'll be kind of just noodling around, and something will be like, oh, that's cool. And I'll get out my phone and I'll record it and I'll put the word riff on it. And this is my phone right now, and these are all the sound files that say riff. There's a lot of them.
A lot of riffage.
Some of them may turn into something usable, but
And some of them don't. Like here's something. We were in Hawaii, and I started playing this.
and I just started going ba-da-da-ba, ba-da-da-ba, ba-da-da-ba. So it's this really cool vibey thing, but it's yet to be turned into a song.
Yeah.
So that's sort of in the riff file, and I email it to both of us, and then even if I lose my phone, that creative idea, because creativity is such a fickle thing.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's there, and sometimes you couldn't find it, with a Geiger counter. It's elusive.
Nice Tom Waits inference there.
There you go. So we also, ideas for songs come up out of the strangest places. Sometimes it's a quote somebody will say or whatever. One of the songs that's on our album is called Everybody's Normal.
Till you get to know them.
Till you get to know them. So we have this little writing book.
With the
a little
obligatory
ever-present rhino. We have lots of rhinoceroses.
our
in
mascot.
the house. But there's lots and lots of half-finished and half-started song ideas. But sometimes songs write themselves all in one go, and other times we got to kind of percolate on them for a while. So there's lots of loose pieces of paper too, and yeah.
And you kind of sort of make a quilt out of these different things, which
And
is
if
kind
we're
of neat.
out and about and we get an idea, I'll type it up in my notes part of my phone, so I've got lots of ideas there too. So, but just because you had the idea doesn't mean it's actually going to turn into something. That's pretty precious when you actually complete a song.
Yeah, because a lot of times it starts like, sadly my father's been recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and we've just starting, and it's really weighing on my heart to want to write something about that, and I have this idea of a slow goodbye, I get choked up when I even think about it, so I think it's a really good emotional thing that we should write about. So right now it's just sort of ruminating. I don't have any idea musically for it, but it's sort of like in the back burner of your mind, and
When the time's right and that spark happened. We've written about 20 songs. 10 of them got recorded professionally with a band, and we made our first album, and it's called Cut Flowers, a bouquet of Canadian songs, and that got released in September of 2022. And then putting on this big album release concert, is basically was a preoccupying and driving force for about 6 months of our lives
dream come
last
true.
year.
Because we thought, well, where are we going to do this? And we thought, well, we could get like a little tiny hall or something. But we thought, well, what's our dream place of doing it? And we thought, well, we'd love to do it in the Mary Irwin soft.
I'm a theater girl, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it in a bar or a restaurant. The thought of doing it in a theater, because the lighting is so beautiful in a theater.
And the sound.
And the sound is great, and people don't talk. So you put tables and drinks and food in front of people, and nobody's really listening as attentively.
Yeah.
And we put a lot of time and effort into writing these words, so we wanted people to hear them.
But then there was a stress of, now we have a very large room,
Yes.
and we need to get a large amount of people in it.
280 seats in that theater, which is a lot of seats to fill. We got a lot of friends, but 280 is a lot.
Yeah. And we ended up with almost 250 people out, which still knocks me out today, to come hear an album that nobody had heard. So I think that's...
But putting on a show of this kind of magnitude is really like planning a wedding. We had a whole team of people involved with this show. Everyone in the band has been a career musician their whole lives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys are the top of their game, but they're all old like us.
Well, Scott and Cyril, I mean, we have pictures of them. They played in a band in the 80s, and they both had perms and hair down to here.
Yeah, so
They were
serious chop. So
very, very, very handsome young men.
Cyril Sherman is our bass player, and he's toured in Germany when, back in the 90s and
Oh, yeah.
such as a bass player. And
one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. He's remarkable.
he keeps everything light and fun, but he's so pro.
Playing bass with Rhindress for about 1 year, 5 months, 17 days, and 16 hours. Played with Jim and Kim Rhindress in a couple other smaller projects, different projects as well over the last probably 4 or 5 years. What I really enjoy about being a part of this project and this band is the level of how passionate everybody is and how enthusiastic and committed to the betterment of what this band is.
I am the drummer of Rhindress. Been with the band for, what are we, approaching about 1.5 years now or so? The better part of my life, I always enjoyed hitting things. It got me in trouble as a youth, but started in high school with some of the formal training in that aspect, and the rest was kind of picked up on the road. After high school, full-time musician for many years and toured the better part of Canada. Trying to find the camaraderie, the people that you respect as people and musicians is a never-ending search, and I haven't been this happy in a long time. A great bunch of people I'm hanging with and really enjoying my time here.
With the band 1.5 years. Been playing keyboard about 55 years. I'm a support keyboard player to my associate Kim Rhindress, and between the two of us we handle all the keys. My favorite part of playing in this band is playing with guys that I've played with before. I've played with Scott before and Cyril before. Always wanted to play with Jim and Kim. Had the opportunity to do so. In this original project, it's fun, it's a blast, it's the talent in this room is incredible.
And of course, for the live show, we brought in
Guy Pizzolato.
who played acoustic
Rhythm guitar.
that helped sort of pull things together. And my good friend Leo Duty played
The Bowren.
the Bowren, not the Bodhran, the Bowren.
The
We're
Bowren for
actually
the
singing-
Celtic song. It's that big sort of round drum thing, and he did that.
But he's one of these talented guys that plays almost everything, and it was such a pleasure to have him too.
So it was a dream. It's a dream team.
The dream team.
And the hang is great. We have rehearsal. Everyone stays for a bite afterwards at our house, and we just really enjoy each other's company.
You might want to talk to Kim about the marketing. Just for the record, Kim's like her mom, and she is like, gets more done than 3 people I know. She did the poster, basically mostly really organized the team.
Yeah, the putting on a show like this, when I said it's like putting on a wedding, it really is. It's a huge event, and it's much more than just a concert. We took a huge risk renting out a theater, and paying to get our name on the marquee of the theater, and printing off the posters and getting those out, and then running Facebook ads and Instagram ads.
And getting really like the best sound guy that we love to be a part of it too. He was expensive too.
We had a lighting designer volunteer her time, and she's an award-winning lighting designer. We had a theater friend volunteer to, we asked her, but she said yes, to direct our show. And her husband created all the visual backdrops, and they just spent so much time and energy putting that together. We had a friend laser some different merch things for our merch table, and then other friends volunteer to run the merch table for us.
Which was definitely work.
So there was, the whole show probably cost us about $5,000 to put on, and including ordering CDs to sell and things like that. So it was a kind of a big leap for us, because
For working musicians, that's
$5,000 is a
big
lot of
chunk of
money
change.
for us. But we really wanted to kind of do this thing right, and we felt that was the best way to do it. And really, I think in terms of album release shows that have ever happened,
I mean, it
in
went
this area,
incredibly well. Incredibly well.
It's been right up there, so we
Yeah.
were really pleased with the end result, for sure. But it was a big risk, and it was kind of nerve-wracking. Every day I'd text the band and say, "Oh, the seats, we got 100 sold," because we had a break-even number. And
when we hit that, there was much rejoicing.
Yes.
It's like, we don't owe any money.
Yeah, we're not in the hole for this.
Yeah. but it was the success of it. You know, I mean, it was not only a financial success; it was a success in that we were all so proud of the work that we did and how well the team got together. And it was, oh God, it was really the most incredible thing musically, you know, we've ever done. And you know, I mean, and here we are still talking about it. I mean, it was a blast.
My intro, probably about here.
Come right out.
Come right out.
Yep.
But no. I'm going to give you the mic. Thanks.
We think she's great too. Oh, it's so awesome. I just love all this technical stuff.
The morning of, my mom and stepdad flew in from Toronto to come and see the show, which was really
It was a big deal.
big deal to have them here. They had arrived that morning, and about 10 minutes after they arrived from the airport, a team of 4 camera people who were going to be filming our show showed up here at the house. So the whole hour before we had to go load in at the theater,
It was pretty manic.
was pretty manic. we're you know, running around our house, giving them some footage of Jim's guitar shop and my voice studio, and answering questions and
Packing things up in the
packing
meanwhile.
things up, and you know, there was just a huge amount of gear to load into our car.
And it turns out, you know, all the years of Tetris paid off, because the car was just filled, you know. I mean, there's no way anything would have shifted.
No,
It came out and had to go back in exactly the same way.
Yes.
I was very proud of that
Yes.
carload.
It was pretty buzzy, pretty buzzy day. And then, you know, load in at the theater was at 2:30, and a friend of ours volunteered to cater and bring enough food for the whole team of 20 people so that no one had to leave, and everyone could stay, load in, do sound check, eat, relax, get changed, and just sort of be present with each other.
Yeah.
And get our minds around this show and not have to run around and go get food. So
Yeah.
it was beautiful,
Yeah.
generous.
Takes a village.
Good. It's a good vibe. It's a good feeling. I think it's going to be a great show.
So are we ready to have a great time tonight? Us too.
You know, guys. I was talking to my best friend Toye, and he was talking about, you know, home is where the heart is, and almost every person in this valley we love is in this room. So.
And the ones who couldn't be here with us have sent, we've had a flurry of messages and emails and phone calls and people saying, you know, we love you, we're sorry we can't be here, and you know, it's all good. We feel the love, and we're just so tickled that you're all here tonight.
So if home is where the heart is, I feel like I'm welcoming you into our living room. So welcome, everyone.
Absolutely.
You came for dinner, now it's 1:45. The wine's all gone for dancing naked in the dining room.
I'm holding out for a little more because this jacket, like, come on, right?
I'm hopeless, yet I'm hopeful that you will finally see I'm in love with you. There's no room left for you. Practicing can do. for me.
If I can wait patiently. Try to find useful things that you could actually use, like things for booze. My Valentine, every day of the year.
Now, this song is called Everybody's Normal Till You Get to Know Them.
Said you just wait and see. A little bit of distance can take you pretty far. Cause when you get too close to see the mess we all are, the closer you get, there's a lot of things you'll show up. Cause everybody's normal till you get to know them. It's getting out of hand. Can't live without my phone, I'm sure you understand. I'm just another victim of an evil corporate plan. I've got nomophobia, it's getting out of hand.
Oh, it's so beautiful! Finally, it's our turn. Finally, I get you all to myself. Let's close the door and put our hearts together. It's our time to make time finally.
I don't know where I'm going, or what I'm gonna do. Everybody, all I know is I'm going. I'm done with all the bullshit and the grief you put me through. All I know is I'm going. Here's to you. Here's to you.
Don't reach for a drink instead of a kiss. Don't take it out on the kids. Don't make her wish she never met you. Don't do what your daddy did.
Never again. Never again.
It was kind of funny, actually, because you know these magical moments that we have in our life that you prepare for, you work for, and then they go by like that. Like, I mean, the first set was such a blur to me.
I like a blink.
You know, thank God Scott's actually got a click going, because I want to do every single song like a ska song. You know,
Super
that the adrenaline was just pumping. But yeah, it went by remarkably quickly.
And we had thought, the theater has 2 levels, so we had thought, well, we'll just quickly, you know, get off stage and run down the hall and go up the stairs so that we can see people who came and say goodbye to them and everything. Well, we didn't make it up the stairs because people were coming down the stairs, but everyone wanted to shake our hand, and you know, some people handed us flowers, and I mean, it was just really so touching. It you know,
I wish we would have made it to the main doors, and we could have spoken to everyone.
Talked to everybody, because it was like a receiving line at a wedding, and people were so sweet and so complimentary, and it was just. Then afterwards, when the gear was all off the stage and we were all back in the green room, we opened a couple bottles of champagne and just did a toast. And I remember looking around the room and just being so grateful and proud of what we had just pulled off. And it was like, this is you know, when you think about all the impactful and important things that happen in your life that are positive, this for me was definitely.
Well, being surrounded by people we love, doing something that we love, doing our own songs. I mean, it's very hard to describe how joyful it was to have it come together better than we thought it would. And again, immediately you think, what's our next show going to be?
How do you top that?
Yeah.
The performer in you wants to go, okay. Now, stadiums, no.
Yeah. What's next? We've just finished 4 more songs, and I feel that the band and our writing and everything it's taken a step up. We're very excited about the new songs, and we have more in line. We're looking at reaching out to maybe getting somebody to help produce our stuff instead of doing it ourselves, and maybe refine and get better.
We signed with a booking agent. We've got quite a few gigs booked this summer for the band. You know, like Music in the Park for West Kelowna and Kamloops and Rib Fest and City of Kelowna, things like that. So
And some ticketed private events coming up in the summer too. Finding
opportunities to play with a 5-piece band of original music is not as easy as you might think.
Yeah.
So we just did a sold-out show with our band at a local place and played almost all original songs with a few covers and gave people a great night. But we've also been nominated for People's Choice Award for Best Band for the Okanagan, and we've made the top 3. So that final voting is going to be going on in the next month, and you know,
which is kind of cool for a new original band.
For with, you know, midlife musicians.
See, midlife, I kind of wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that many 114-year-olds, so I don't know if we're middle.
Canadian definition, I looked this up, is 40 to 65. So we're midlife.
Midlife is 65.
We're going with midlife.
Okay, obviously people are taking their vitamins. But fair enough.
It's a range.
It's a range.
Spectrum.
Midlife. But no crisis here.
People in general experience rising creativity in their later years. And I don't know if it's because they finally reach this, well, if not now, then when, now or never kind of thing, or if they just have the time. Because creativity takes time. And when you're busy rushing around and, you know, building a career, raising children, or whatever it is you're doing, you know, it's hard to find that time to make you know, creative things happen. I mean, we're musicians, but Jim's sister is just started doing wood turning in Haida Gwaii, and she is now going to be on the cover of a wood turning magazine.
Yeah,
and she's got this huge following on Instagram.
My sister's pretty talented.
So it's the quirkiest thing.
Remarkable lady.
But, you know, find your passion, find your tribe, you know, and just start.
And go for it.
You looked so perfect standing next to me, promising your vows for friends and family. I know it's late and we're tired after our big day, but come and lie beside me now. Put those clothes away. Finally, it's our turn. Finally, I get you all to myself. Let's close the door and put our hearts together. It's our time to make time finally. The day's been long, we hardly slept last night. The baby's teething and our toddler started to bite. I know it's late and there's laundry to be put away, but come and lie beside me now. Those other things can wait. 'Cause finally, it's our turn. Finally, I get you all to myself. Let's close the door and put our used to be. Our youngest left for college just the other day. We helped her load the car and watched her drive away. The years flew by, and now it's back to you and I. So come and lie beside me now, hold me as I cry. Finally, it's our turn. Finally, I get you all to myself. Let's close the door and put our hearts together. It's our time to make time finally. 'Cause finally, it's our turn. Finally, I get you all to myself. Let's close the door and put our hearts together. It's our time to make time finally. It's our time to make the time for just you and me.